Okay, we're going to go through topic number 33 right now. On topic number 33, I've got to figure out what I can multiply. Again, the whole point of what we're doing right now is to figure out a way to get rid of this and to get rid of this. That's our main point in these last few problems, and that's what we're going to continue to do right now. To get rid of those, I need to multiply it by something that'll cancel those out. So I notice, first of all, on this problem, you're going to have to find this on every problem that you do. You're going to have to find something that, well, you're going to have to find a greatest common factor. So u plus 6, I notice here, goes into 4u plus 24. That's going to be pretty helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this by 4u plus 24 over 4u plus 24. It's kind of confusing on why I'm doing that, but you'll see in a bit that essentially this 4u plus 24 is going to cancel that u plus 6 out. It's also going to cancel this out, and we're not going to have any more of these mini fractions on the top and the bottom of our fraction. So let's do this. This stuff right here all has to get distributed into both this term and the fraction term. And then this stuff on bottom is going to have to multiply into this guy and that guy, the fraction as well. So let's do that. Before I get started, I'm going to change colors here just so you can see what I'm doing. And I am going to change this to a plus sign and a -2. I'm also going to change this to a plus sign, a -u, and then, I don't know, I kind of want to get rid of that and make this a -9. So I just basically distributed a negative into all of that stuff. Okay, so let's start distributing these. So 4u plus 24, I'm going to take this, I'm going to multiply it by 2. That's going to equal 8u plus 48. And then if I take this and multiply it by the fraction now, this is going to be a little bit tricky. So I'm going to show you up at the top here. If I take this and I factored out a 4, that would leave me with u plus 6. That's important to note because what's happening here is this stuff is basically going on top, or I should say this stuff is going on top. So then the u plus 6 will basically cancel out with the bottom term right there. So what will we be left with? We'll be left with that -2 that I accidentally erased and the 4. -2 times 4 is -8. Okay. So we would put that on the top of our fraction, and now we get to do the bottom part. So the 4u plus 24 times 1, that's pretty easy, 4u plus 24. And then for the fractional term, this is way easier. This is, again, going up on top when we multiply. So you could think about it as like this. And then the 4u plus 24 actually cancels out, and we're just going to be left with the -u minus 9 left over. Honestly, this problem's kind of tricky, and if you're struggling with it, and if you weren't in class today, you probably should come in to get some extra help, because one example might not be enough for you. Maybe it is, I'm not really sure. But there's a lot of canceling that's going on right there. And then just in general, finding the number that you should use to multiply is kind of tricky in itself. But I knew u plus 6 went evenly into this 4u plus 24 because all you had to do was multiply by 4 on the u and the 6 to get that. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. If it was close to making sense, make sure you rewind. I'm going to finish the problem out now. So I'm going to combine like terms. That means we get 8u plus 40 on top, and we get 3u plus 15 on bottom, which means we'll pull out an 8. We'll be left with u plus 5. On the bottom, we'll have 3 and u plus 5. U plus 5s cancel out. We did all that work to get 8 over 3. Topic number 34. First thing I see that I'm going to do is I'm going to change these to adding negatives instead of subtracting. And now what I see we have 4 different, well, I guess not 4 different. We have 2 different ones on this problem. You could potentially get 4 different ones on a different problem. but we have different denominators on our fractions. And another thing is we can't do like we did on the last problem where we said, oh, u plus 6 goes into u plus 24, or 4u plus 24, because u plus 2 does not evenly go into u minus 4. You can't multiply u plus 2 by 2 and get u minus 4. That doesn't work. So instead, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to multiply by u minus 4 and u plus 2. Because eventually when we multiply these through, remember all of this stuff has to multiply with this fraction and with this fraction, and all of this stuff has to multiply by this fraction and this fraction, but eventually things are going to cancel out. So if I multiply the first one, I'm going to erase my arrows here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this and I'm going to multiply it by the first fraction. And what happens is this stuff that I circled will go on top. So what's going to happen there is the u minus 4 will cancel with the u minus 4 that I'm bringing over and multiplying. That means what's left over is just the 6 that was on top to begin with and the u plus 2 that I multiplied by. That didn't get canceled. When I multiply it by this fraction, we had a plus sign between there, but I'm just going to hold off on it. The u plus 2 is going to cancel with this u plus 2. We'll be left with negative 3 times u minus 4, because that's what's left over and what didn't cancel out. On the bottom, we'll take this. We're going to multiply it here. The u plus 2's are going to cancel out. That means we'll be left with u minus 4 and the 4 that was originally there. For the next one, this should be a minus 1 because I changed the sign around, I believe. Yep, plus minus. Okay, so it should be a minus 1. So the u minus 4's will cancel out. We'll be left with a negative 1 times u plus 2. Okay, we're going to have to do some distributing and then some solving. So I'm going to do that real quick. Combine like terms. Simplify. Threes cancel out. Our final answer is just, I'm not going to rewrite it for you, but it's that right there in that box. Okay, so those last few problems were pretty intense. We are on topic 35 right now, and the intensity level dropped significantly. Hold on a second. I think I might have got these backwards. I think I got these backwards. I think this is really topic 35. Sorry about that, but I think this is topic 35. So we'll do this one next. So on this one, I'm going to multiply. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's not. I'm sorry. I'm going to go back. Nope, I was right the first time. This is topic 35. Okay, so I'm going to solve a proportion for this. I noticed that I have two things that are equal to each other, and I know they don't have common denominators. We don't need common denominators. If we have two fractions that are equal to each other, we can cross multiply. So that's not too bad. If I cross multiply, I get 9 times that x minus 1, set equal to 12 times that x. And then we solve for x, we get 9x minus 9. And subtract 9x from both sides, so negative 9 equals 3x. So x must equal Negative 3. That's not so bad. Topic number 36. Looks pretty easy to start with. It's not a one-step equation, and some people still get tricked on it. I'm going to have to multiply both sides by v to get v out of there. If I do that, then I'll have 9v on one side. Those would cancel. I'll be left with a 6 over there. Divide both sides by 9. We get v equals 6 over 9, which is really 2/3. Topic number 37. On this one, I'm going to multiply both sides by y plus 8 to get it out of the denominator. If I do that, the y plus 8's on this side cancel out. I'll be left with, I'm going to distribute this 8 real quick. 8y plus 64 equals 4. And then I'm not even going to solve this. You guys can solve that on your own. Solve for y. Topic number 38. Now I've got to look for something to get rid of those denominators, and I'm going to multiply both sides by 4x. So if I'm multiplying both sides by 4x, that means this fraction is going to be multiplied by 4x, so I'll just put it on top, actually. This fraction is going to be multiplied by 4x, and this 2 is going to be multiplied by 4x. Basically, I'm multiplying every single term by 4x. And what's going to happen is this 4 will cancel with this 4. So we'll be left with 7x. This x will cancel with this x. We'll be left with 20. And then negative 2 times 4 is a negative 8x. And then we can start to solve, but I think you guys can manage that on your own. Topic number 39. I'm going to multiply this one by 6u. So I'm going to multiply this fraction by 6u. I'm going to multiply this fraction by 6u. And then I'm going to multiply this number by 6u. Every term is getting multiplied by 6u. That keeps the equation balanced, and it's not changing the equation at all. So if I multiply this by 6u, obviously those cancel out. I'll just be left with a 5. These u's will cancel out. I'll be left with a 36. And then 6u is left there, and you guys can solve that to figure out what u equals. Okay, I think I'm going to end this video there.